Welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us. If indeed you have, if you haven't joined us, then this is purely pointless. This is the Copper Wars, a steampunk themed kind of 5e D&D mashup, mostly made in my brain, and the rest is just made up, period. My name is Phil. I'm your games master. I also play a rather attractive and handsome bear called Gregor, who may or may not appear in this episode. And we're 3 players down today. We have no Jezza, who plays Carswell Thorn, who is a fighter. We're distinctly lacking in Carmenness, who plays Rosa, who's a something. I haven't quite worked out what. And we are lacking Serena, who is a Wolfkin fighter. So hopefully all these 3 players will be back next week. So we're left with these lovely foursome and alongside me on the screen. I'm going to go to Sheena first.
Okay, so I'm Lani Wukashevich Van Loch, better known as Wookie, and I'm the Trickster Cleric of the group.
Awesome. I'm going to next go to Elise. See, I pronounced it right this time.
Thank you. I play Song of the River, the Tabaxi Druid, who's still trying to figure stuff out. That's me.
And am I right in thinking that tonight you'll be role-playing mostly as a Tabaxi with a slight cold?
That's it, yes. I'm a little bit sick, so excuse that.
Beating down the health barrier.
Human allergies.
And next I will go to Kira.
Hello, I play Anais, who is a female bard. Female human bard. She is extremely persuasive. There is nothing she cannot talk herself out of. And she's stupidly currently unarmed.
Awesome. That's what we like in these games. And finally, we're going to swing over to Stuart.
Hello, I'm playing Iqbo von Kirby, a kobold rogue, whose background is in smuggling and trades.
Fantastic. So here is your cast and crew. Now, just a very quick recap. I could do this because that would be really interesting if I was to just talk some more. I'm going to hand it over to my players to remind everyone where we finished last week.
In a warehouse.
In a warehouse.
Hiding behind a wall.
Hiding behind a wall.
Hiding behind bags.
Yeah, okay. So we're getting a general theme of hiding and not doing anything. What was it?
Fighting some orcs, I believe, or half orcs.
Yeah, one was down.
No, we downed an orc. We downed a elf, and we've seen 2 new people. The wolfkin that we were looking to find, and someone else, another elf.
A half-elf woman.
Yes.
Indeed, that is correct. So,
and we have the reveal of Cuddles.
Oh yes, tell me more about Cuddles.
I love Cuddles. Cuddles is actually
terrifying.
Very demonic there.
Maybe to you, but very nostalgic for Wookie, because it was one of her childhood toys. That she would come and keep her company when she was out doing her soul searching and training as a cleric, which she spent a lot of time out in the woods alone. And so Cuddles would keep her company and a little bit more sane. Depends, you don't know how sane that kept her, but hopefully it was an improvement.
Yep.
When you say a little, do you mean like a little?
Well, if you're watching on Facebook, have a guess at how sane it kept Wookie. I'll leave that one with you guys. All right, so I'm gonna share the screen for the warehouse like this. Okay, so okay, now these 2 guys are already scratched out the game. And bizarrely, I couldn't find my map from last week where everyone's positions were, but that's fine because, as we know, there suddenly seems to be less of you in the warehouse than when you first entered. So I'm going to advance the plot somewhat in the way that only a GM can, and I'm going to have you standing kind of in the gateway. So this isn't really a gateway. This is a wall that's next to the ceiling.
That is right where I was.
There you go. So everyone's joined you, and you can see. Yep.
I was going to ask, since I am unarmed, but we did down 2 players, my next move was going to dash to one of the downed and try and steal one of their weapons.
Well, interestingly enough, one of the things I was going to do was give each of you 1 action before I do what I need to do.
Excellent. I'm going back to go for the bodies.
Okay. Oh, now that means I've got to look up what they had. Hold on.
Sorry.
They were
which-
druids, so probably not much.
Yeah, which one are you checking, Anais?
The first one, the half orc, or orc, whatever it was.
All right. I will give you. What did he have? Oh, I will give you a dagger because he was a druid, so you can have a little dagger.
Okay. Okay.
It does 1d4 damage though.
If our fighter fainted, do you know what he had on him?
The other one that was attacked by Cuddles?
No, our team member, or are we acting like they're not
They
existent?
fell down a well.
You can't seem to see him at the moment.
I think our fighter, fainted because of the existence of Cuddles in his life. He just couldn't handle it.
Just
Wouldn't
search the other
surprise
body.
Doesn't surprise me at all. And the other, look, the other half elf, by the way, has got, let's just say, has got a long sword on him. Them.
Definitely picked the wrong.
You did, absolutely. So thank you for making it more interesting. So that was Anais's action. Ikbo, what are you doing?
He'd be trying to stealth and get a good look at the layout of the map, just trying to get like where everyone's going to be, advantages to shoot from and that sort of thing.
Okay, so where are you then? Because I think what I set out by saying is everyone's kind of gathering here now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm just analysing the map, sort of, so to speak, seeing what they're wearing, like sizing them up.
Okay.
What do we see?
Let's get the actions out of the way first. So Ikbo and Anais, Song, what would you like to do? You were the there.
I would like to have Entangle prepared for if any hostile action occurs.
Yep, so that's great. You're holding your action, which is Entangle. And for those watching and playing along at home, and this is something that I find often causes confusion when people play D&D and they say, I hold my action. What then, as Song has quite rightly done, is you hold your action until there's a trigger. And in this case, it's if anyone takes a hostile action. You can't just say, well, I'm just gonna take an action and that's it. You have to do something. It has to be triggered. So well done, you. Good roleplay. And finally, Wookie, what are you doing?
Okay, so Wookie will stealth her way up to a vantage point because she would have probably been too far away to be of much use.
Oh, okay.
And she pulls out her crossbow, which has got like flowers carved into it.
Yep.
And she aims it ready for if anybody attacks. And Cuddles moves 20 feet and stands in between herself and the unknown enemies.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So do me a stealth roll then, please.
Will do.
And somebody might need to turn their speakers down just a little bit because I can hear myself when I speak.
Oh, don't know if that's me or not.
That's okay.
That might be me. Hang on.
It could be all of you for all I know.
Oh no.
I am Spartacus.
15.
15.
I have headphones, so.
Okay, right. See, it's definitely not Song.
Mhm.
Okay. Right, so you've all had an action. So do you want me to describe what you can now see?
Yes.
Okay, so you can see this, like this. There's the partly fenced stockade with some fairly decent looking tents, quite large. You can see on the right-hand tent, there is the, I suppose, the heraldic shield of Rusland. You see a campfire, you see some crates and some sacks. Now I will start with the person on the left-hand side looks elven to you and female. However, she also looks kind of a bit rough, let's say. She hasn't got the traditional elvish look in the sense that she's got quite shortly cropped hair and at the sides, but for the length of her hair, which reaches down past her shoulders, there's kind of like heavy braids. she wears leather armor, but kind of not like a soldier's leather armor. It's just basically covering the vital areas. She has a fair amount of bare skin, and there's lots of tattoos and war paint. She holds a rather large great axe, and I'll give her a shield because why not?
She's
So
wearing
that's the
bare skin.
sorry.
Does she look cold?
No, not at all. Well, there is a fire there, so you know that's fine. Sorry, Stuart, you said something?
Yeah, I think you said bare skin. You mean like skin from a bear, or
No, she has bare skin. B-A-R-E, bare.
She's half naked with armor.
just clarifying?
No, absolutely. That's cool. Now, what I can do is I can show you the other chap, as I briefly mentioned last week, who he was. But I can get to now. I've borrowed an image off of DeviantArt, and I've left the artist credit on top. So thank you, Shapuda. I'm just borrowing your wonderful image. So standing before you is a rather tall 6.5 foot wolfkind, very dark grey, edging on black fur with amber eyes. He wears a very smart 3-piece suit, and neither of them particularly seem to have taken any actions against you so far. You can see them, and they can see you. Obviously, Wookie, you don't know whether you can be seen or not. I'm not giving that game away just yet. So they can definitely see at least 3 of you. So over to you guys.
I am going to just walk up.
Yeah.
Rust off, I assume. Where is Professor Langstrom's suit?
He looks down. He looks down at the floor briefly before looking back up at you, and he wears something of a half smile about him. He says, straight to the point. Very good. Very good. You must be Song of the River.
That's
I mean,
me.
not necessarily because you're straight to the point, but it's the fact that you're a Tabaxi, and yes, I suppose I was semi-expecting a Tabaxi to be here, so.
Who else were you expecting?
Well, I was expecting you and you and you, although I was expecting a few more.
Oh, they're around somewhere.
I'll take your word for it.
You see Cuddles? You see Cuddles point at himself, like I'm imagining that it's pretending to be like me.
And it's a no, not you. So look, I could continue the charade and ask why you're here, but I know exactly why you're here, because I kind of wanted you to be here. The reason you're here is because I have kind of engineered this. So
okay, so Wookie pops her head out, seeing as she can tell that her game is up, and goes, "You know about me?
Well, yes.
I didn't know anybody knew me here."
You'll be surprised what I know and how I know. Let me introduce Althea. Althea is one of my right-hand women. She won't do anything at the moment unless she feels the absolute necessity to get blood on her blade. She's very good at following orders, unlike the other two. What happened to the other two, by the way?
You won't have to worry about one of them.
They're sleeping.
Okay, so I'm getting one is asleep and one is more than asleep.
You could say that.
Well, no matter. They're just employees. If they weren't able to defend themselves, then they're no use to me anyway.
One got cuddled. That's all I've got to say.
I assume you're referring to that abomination that kind of is floating in the air, kind of thing.
Isn't he a cutie?
Not really. No. Very well. Let's cut to the chase. You're here because you want the suit that my henchman, let's say, my henchman rather liberated from Professor Langstrom.
that he did.
Yes. Now, why would you be wanting this?
Because Professor Langstrom wants it.
And why does
Because
Professor
we
Langstrom
are
want it?
henchmen and we need things.
Well, if you wish to classify yourself as henchmen, you must also understand the ultimate fate of henchmen, and I refer you to the ones that are back outside that you've already met. Henchmen
Depends on
are
how good you are as a henchman.
How good are you, Wookie?
Better than yours.
I'm a terrible henchwoman because I am not a henchwoman. I would like to just remind you, sir, that if you do have the suit as you say you do, you probably know you're missing a fairly important component.
Very smart. You must be the extravagant Anais. So
Ordinary, but it works too.
that is the reason that I've managed to bring you here. Not exactly against your will. I've brought you here according to your own will. Because I have a suit that is quite frankly useless. However, I knew by having the suit, I would get you. So it's all rather falling together, I believe.
Well, what do you want? Out with it.
Well, you know what I want. So
Just
who
look
has
at
it?
Igbo.
Tell you what I want. That suit is rather dashing, sir. I want the name of your tailor.
This? It's just a little thing I threw together. It's not from a tailor in Liberty City, I'm afraid. So you'd have to travel rather far to get it made.
Pity.
Yes. So who has it then? Which one of you?
Igbo just remains completely silent in this. He's just taking it all in and waiting for his moment.
Yeah.
Wookie puts her elbows up onto a barrel and just like waits.
Can you tell us
Or-
about what the suit does?
No, the suit, as far as I'm concerned, is just rather extravagant bait for you. I have no
You
interest.
must understand that we did appreciate the fact that we were probably walking into a trap. Therefore, logic would conclude that we would therefore not have what it is that you are after.
No, he wants us.
No, he doesn't. He wants the thing that we have.
Logic only extends so far. And from an insurance point of view, I would imagine with the assembled gathering that I'm witnessing before me, is that at least one of you would be considering, well, it's probably not safe to leave it anywhere else except with you. So let's not play silly about this. So who has it?
Oh, because Rosa had the fake one, didn't she?
He's down a well.
Mhm.
Yes, you actually, as a group, you notice that Rosa, who you thought was with you, is not with you.
I'm sure she'll be fine.
Does the fake one like roll out from somewhere?
Oh, look, I found it.
Well, if you just
Are
go
you
look
talking
for it,
about
maybe.
this?
You can always go look for it, I guess, if you think it's there.
Could
I look around the barrels with like, you know, I don't remember who it was left with last as Wookie. It's not some she's not very good at keeping tabs of things.
No. So at this point, Rostov becomes rather impatient. He sighs dramatically in a fashion that Anais would probably appreciate. And he says, well, it's all rather disappointing. And Igbo von Kirby, your silence is deafening. And why would this be?
There is no need to talk such words with you, puppy.
Ugh, really?
It's been too long.
It's been too short, if you ask me.
Like you, Igbo, because you're short.
Oh, well done, son. Well done. It's very coy.
Yes. It's unlike you to stay so quiet.
It's unlike you to meddle in the jobs of others. I thought we agreed to stay out of each other's business.
Oh, agreements. They're only as useless as the paper they're not written on. You should know this. You're more mercenary than anyone else I know.
True.
Yes. Okay, so who has what I'm after? Come on, chop chop. I haven't got all day.
I do.
Oh, excellent. Well, I'm suggesting, therefore, that we do a trade. You give me what you have. You can have the suit back.
I propose a counter trade where you give us the suit and we leave.
Oh, trade roll. Very funny.
Leave you with your lives.
Really?
Ignore the cute one. She's.
Despite what you may feel about me, Iqbal, I can not see any cute ones in front of me, sir.
I had to get.
If only Timber was here.
So, okay, I can definitely establish that you will not be getting the suit with me, and then you just walk away. That definitely cannot happen.
Can I ask the question?
You may ask a question.
This might be like a terribly obvious question, but why do you want it?
Why do you care?
Call me curious.
I can call you.
I like money.
Oh, well, let's just say it's for money then.
No, that's what I said, sir. I want to know what you wanted.
Let's say I'm doing it for money then.
Oh, terribly unoriginal.
If it's good enough for you, my dear, it's good enough for me also.
I would expect that a sir would have higher standards given the cut of his suit.
Well, one does not get such fine suits without the aforementioned money. If you have any doubt about my desire for money, just ask your friend Iqbal there. He'll be able to tell you very much about me.
I'm sure he would, but I've noticed that there's of greater currency in this city. It's not money, it is favours.
Iqbal, seeing as you know so much about the Mr. Wolf guy, do you know who he's working for? Because that would be really good information to have.
It would be. But alas, I do not know.
And you see Cuddles fade because he fades after a minute.
Yeah.
And I go, whoa.
So you want the cylinder, but not the thing that it's for?
I want the cylinder, correct.
Do you have another suit?
No, why would I need another suit? I've already got one that I don't need.
Make the trade.
Yeah.
Do you think that's a good idea?
I think that's an excellent idea. You should listen to this one. She's clearly a leader.
I want to know what it does.
Well, this isn't a library. You won't be able to find out anything here.
The interesting thing, obviously, is that one powers a suit or powers things in general, and the suit does things. It's the suit that is more interesting, I think.
Then the trade is most agreeable. I get what I want, you get what you want. So,
what else does it power?
I'm not here to have a discussion about what is and what isn't. I'm telling you what I want. Now, I've played nicely so far. All right. My friend here will continue to remain statuesque as she is prone to be, unless you're going to make this very difficult for me. And if you continue to make things difficult for me, the same sort of thing will happen to you as happened to your friend Gregor.
What did you do to Gregor?
You tell me what I think I did. What do you think I did?
You hurt Gregor.
You became friends.
One of you is correct. One of you is far from the mark.
You ask a lot of questions that you should already know the answer to. This is most confusing, sir. Could you not just hurry things along a little bit? We have places to be.
Well, I don't really think you have anywhere to be, and the form that I'm using is something called rhetoric. You may wish to look it up.
We don't get money without the cylinder, and we don't get money without the suit. Where are we going to get our money?
Well, really, that's for you to determine. I'm offering you a fair trade, or I suppose you would lose some health. I suppose that's the rather crude way of looking at it.
So would you give us just a moment to discuss this amongst ourselves?
Yes, I will give you...
Puddle.
Oh, yeah, I will give you 5 minutes. I will warm my hands by the fire. And he does. He walks away and brings Althea with him, and they just stand behind
Be
the
just around the corner.
Sure.
Let's go look for this one. The fake one. Rosa had it.
And so I go, well, there's 4 of us, and there's 2 of them, so there's 6 of us.
What?
That's
Okay,
my math on, like, you know, that we're outnumbering them.
Okay, so
I
is
would-
anyone looking for the fake cylinder? Yep, so
Yep.
roll me an investigation then.
Okie dokie.
Oh, and you can roll with advantage because you would have a rough idea where Rosa had been at any one stage. So.
13 or a 13.
A 13? Yeah, that's fine. You find it's rolled against some barrels.
Yes,
Awesome.
I start like warming it between my hands.
Yep, okay.
And then I come back to the group and then I'm like, there you go, Ikbo, you've got the cylinder. Very quietly, of course.
I take it from Song. I say to her, he is smarter than he looks, so this may not fall in for long.
If we do this and we are discovered in this, there will be no going back. We're going to have to do something about this.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it sounds like a deal with it now or deal with it later kind of scenario.
Okay.
Ikbo would rather not deal with it at all. I just want to finish the job.
We're not getting paid in this current scenario, so either the only way to get paid for both items is to present both items. I don't see this going well.
Ikbo just
Well,
walks.
if we do it and he's angry, we could just leave town.
Oh, I have a spell that might help with that.
Yeah,
We'll be
some
angry.
people leave town. Others live here.
Well, move.
Yeah, but think of it like a vacation.
Ikbo just walks away from the group
Towards Rostov or the other
Towards
way?
or away.
towards Rostov.
Okay, we'll follow.
Oh,
No, Ikbo, don't.
okay, so you presented yourself back at the campfire?
Yeah, I start walking towards the campfire with Rostov and Alfair.
Okay.
I'm following behind.
So Rostov walks out from behind the fire one direction and Althea comes out the other direction. She's put her shield down and has got just like her axe between both of her hands.
Yeah, I approach with my hands raised, or with the cylinder in one hand and the other hand empty to prove that I'm unarmed.
Yep, that's fine. It says, it's not the first time I've seen you so submissive, Ikbo.
Yes, well, things have changed since we've last met.
The world is a changing place, that is for sure.
Disease is rampant.
Where is the suit?
The suit, where's the cylinder?
It's in my hand.
Mm-hmm. And he nods to Althea and she walks past, and you saw where there was the pile of crates. She finds one of the random crates and opens it and just briefly holds up the suit to show that they've got it, and then she puts it back down and stands over by the crate.
Yeah, okay, now bring the crate over. That's how trades work. We give you one thing, you give us the other thing.
Are you sure you want it in the crate, or can I just give you the suit?
Oh, we'll take the suit, that's fine. You can take it out of the crate.
Fine. And he kind of gestures without looking, and Althea brings the suit and stands slightly behind him. She holds the suit with both hands.
Yeah, I wave my hand over for someone to come over.
I'll pick it up because I'm taller than him.
And so Rostov puts his hand out first before he allows.
How heavy is the suit?
Sorry?
How heavy is the suit? Like, is it a two-man
No, it would
dog
be
to carry it?
if it was Ikbo carrying it, it might be problematic, but Song or Anais or even a dwarf, I guess, would be. It's not heavy. It's not made of iron or anything, so it's just.
But it's built for human people to, yeah, it's human size, so 6
Yeah.
feet.
Yeah, there or thereabouts. So yeah, so he places his hand out.
Yep, and I'm going to say, Song, the suit.
Yep, very well.
Then I put the cylinder in his hands.
Yep.
And I take the suit.
Yes, Althea kind of narrows her eyes slightly at you, and it's only when Rostov nods very, very slightly that she releases grip of it. Okay, so how we're going to do this? We're going to kind of mess around with the rules of D&D again, just for fun. Iqbo, I want you to roll a sleight of hand with advantage. The advantage being is you're 100% behind the scam, and you've also warmed up the cylinder, so you know it's not a blind scam. This, so you can have an advantage.
We haven't rolled our luck points.
Yeah.
I think we've still got the same ones. It's not a new day.
Yeah, it's not a new day.
Okay, sorry, Iqbo, that was.
I'm going to burn 3 luck points.
Oh,
So that's 23.
okay. So Rostov inspects he kind of gently weighs it up and down. He looks at it, scrutinizes it, and says, "It's surprisingly warm for something so small."
It has that effect. We do not know why, as you don't know why the suit works.
It is energy magic.
And he opens up his jacket and slips it in an inside pocket. And he now talks to Anais and says, "Well, I guess our business is done. I'm sorry for any unpleasantness, but that was merely business. I'm sure you understand.
Of course.
I will leave you to deal with any fallout from the dead body that happens to be on the floor and over there." And as he says that, he places his hand on Althea's shoulder, and they both just suddenly disappear.
Oh, glad we didn't fight him.
Okay, so I prop the guy that I put to sleep against a bag,
Yep.
and then I start dragging the dead body towards the well.
Okay, that you notice that there's, or at least one of you will notice, there's a nice light slick of blood that comes out because it was a gunshot wound. So, it's nice.
Is there anything else in the makeshift camp of worth?
You can do an investigation for me, I think.
Are you specifically like just looking around? Are you going to check inside the tents? Like, what are you doing?
I was looking around the tent inside. I'm not specifically opening everything up. I'm just having a look around. That's 10.
You see, there's a couple of swords inside and around the tent. There's an extra shield. You find 60 marks in paper notes. There doesn't appear to be too much. It's almost as if Rostov travels quite light. You find, as I say, you find some change of clothes that would probably look like they would fit Althea. They don't smell particularly fresh, it has to be said. And there's some food supplies, just like some bread, and there's bottles, presumably of wine, and dried meat. Yeah.
Yep. I'll pocket the 60 marks, leave the rest.
Can you tell us about the food and wine?
No. I'd walk out.
Sorry.
Iqbal would walk up to Song and say, "We have a job to finish."
Yeah, we do. Let's go.
If I could just take this moment to remind you, it is the middle of the night.
Mm.
Before we leave, can I please investigate what's in the crates? There's probably nothing, but I want to know anyway.
Sure. Roll me an investigation.
Certainly. That would be. What's my investigation? 20.
A 20. Okay, cool. So there's sacks of coal. Some of the crates contain what looks like iron piping. There's cogs and nuts and bolts in another. It's quite engineering. But for 20, you also notice in one of the other crates there's appears to be a flag.
Okay. Can I pull out the flag and do I recognize it?
Yes, you recognize it's the flag of Vinland, and it's very big. I mean, you're talking it's probably 3 meters by 2 meters. And it's
So is it the same size as the flag that's hanging from the tent?
No, it's much bigger. It looks like,
And russet.
and it's made fully of like proper cotton material, and it's fully, it's hand stitched.
I'm going to pull the flag out of the crate, sort of leave it near the tent, and then say, "Don't worry about moving those bodies."
Okay.
I come back to where everybody is now after dragging the body away. And I take it that I notice the wine and food. And if it's late in the evening, assuming that we haven't actually gone for dinner, I start making use of the leftovers.
Mm-hmm.
So anyone who wishes to, I mean, you rolled a 20 to find obviously the things in the crate. If anyone wants to roll history on the flag, I will let you do so.
Let's give it a crack.
Yeah, I'll do the same.
8.
I'm
No.
tempted to pick it up and run around with it, but no.
15.
15. Wookie, you can roll with advantage if you want to roll.
Sure.
You come from next door to Vinland, so.
Natural 20 plus, that's history, right?
Yep.
History. So 21.
Okay, so you would recognize the flag of that size probably coming from a ship. You wouldn't see a flag that size a lot of other places unless it's on top of a building. But given it's the Vinland flag, you'd probably question why it's in a warehouse in the middle of Liberty City, Edisonia.
Okay, so I pretend that I'm on a ship and I run around the immediate area, role playing that like I'm a pirate for a little bit, and just generally giving the notions of what I know about it.
Very well.
In a childish manner.
Yeah.
I'm going to look over to the others and be like, "Do not eat that food."
Oh God, yeah. I get you. Okay, yeah, you can do that for a few minutes, and then
strong wine.
And presumably, like a 5-year-old child, you probably get tired very quickly, and just put the
Yeah, and then just dump it in a corner somewhere.
Yeah. All right. Okay, so the encounter in the warehouse is done. I'm going to assume that you're going to leave the warehouse. I can't remember what time did we say it was when you got there?
It was sundown when we all met up.
Okay. Okay, it's probably I'm going to jog things on a bit. It's probably about 11:30 at night.
We want to get rid of this as soon as we can. As soon as he finds out that cylinder is not that cylinder, he's going to come back for this.
That is why I say we go to Professor now.
Yes, and then get out of town.
You may leave town. That is fine. Igbo live here.
Holiday.
All right. So
Okay.
you leave the warehouse. It started raining, and obviously you're in the foundry part of the city. So presumably you're going to walk all the way to Professor Langstrom's, is it?
Yeah, I'm putting the suit under my shawl thing, stop it getting wet.
Yeah, I assume you've all got appropriate clothing for the weather.
Yeah, let's go.
So I'm going to say, I mean, the bizarre thing, even though it's so late at night, is that the sky is still quite light where you are, because the clouds are reflecting the fires of the foundries and furnaces. That was a lot of F's, by the way. And so there's everywhere is cast with an orange hue from that. The air is still quite thick. The rain, if anything, just kind of absorbs the smoke, and so everything kind of is smutty and dirty and dark. And
I just frown at everything.
Yes. Yeah. Song, you're probably having a horrible time of it at the moment. To be honest, it's not at all anything like you would want it to be. It's
Hence the allergies.
It's unnatural. It's industrial. It's just rank pollution, which nobody else really cares about, generally speaking. Okay, so you make your way from there. You walk into the busier parts of the city. You can catch a trolley bus if you want to. It'll take you on a circuit, and it'll drop you off near the Le Fay Vert, which will be a quicker walk for you then, instead of just tramping all the way through the rain.
May as well.
It would
Yep.
be quicker.
Don't know if we want to take a exploratory suit onto a
Public transport.
yeah.
It is quicker.
We'll also be seen carrying a suit. Like, just do it. I don't care. Let's go.
All
Yeah,
right.
Wookiee's indifferent.
I'll take my scarf off my head and like bundle the suit up, like fold it into my scarf. So it's
I could always just take off my giant coat of doom and then just like put it inside it and fold the big fur coat around it.
And look like the biggest pregnantest dwarf there was.
I'm just what it looks like I'm just holding a very heavy bundle of cloth right now. I hope.
So you get on the next trolley that comes your way, and there's 6 other passengers. You can take your seats. Nobody else really seems to be that interested in you, frankly, despite your self-aggrandizing behavior. You're not actually that special.
No, especially this time of night.
Yeah, really. I mean, to be honest, 4 of the 6 look like they're actually heading away from the foundry area anyway. They've done their shift. So yeah, after about 10 minutes of the trolley makes a few stops, obviously on the way. You are at the corner and you recognise that the trolley stop is outside the Faevair.
This is us.
Let's go.
Yep. And as is normally in my game, I'm just going to assume that you just obviously have the money to pay for that. It's only a mark or so. So, yep. So you trudge your way through the cold and wet up. Which street was it? It was Voltaire, wasn't it? Was it Da Vinci? I could get the map.
Voltaire, I'm pretty sure.
Sorry?
That's where we started. Voltaire, I'm pretty sure that's where we started. So that's Voltaire.
Okay, yep. So anyway, you get to the professor's house, and I will leave you at on the sidewalk near the gate which leads up to his house.
Bell fixed yet? Let's walk up and check.
Yeah, the bell appears to be fixed.
We'll pull on it.
Yep, sure.
Gently.
Yeah.
After
Don't pull
about-
on it like a Wookiee.
And I kind of huddle in the corner out of the rain as well, flicking my ears.
So the doorway and where the area where you pull the bell is like a covered porch anyway, so that's fine. So yeah.
Was it raining?
Yeah, it was raining when you left the warehouse.
That is why you were wet, Wookie.
Just too
Yeah.
drunk.
So after about 30
Thanks, Al.
seconds, the door opens just a very slight crack, and Willikins peers through, recognizes you, and then obviously opens it. Oh, the master wasn't quite expecting you this evening. Is everything okay?
I've got what you need.
Apologies, good sir.
Well, it is rather late, but
Yes, that is why I'm apologizing for the hour of our rudeness.
okay. Well, rudeness is not acceptable at any hour, to be fair. But that's fine. Come in out of the filthy weather.
Thank you very much.
So as Wookiee steps into the doorway, she just shakes herself off like a dog.
Oh,
Ah,
okay. Willikins looks decidedly dejected when you do that. It's like, well,
Does not notice, continues walking inside.
I had just cleaned the floor but I didn't clean the walls, so they need doing tomorrow. That's fine. I had very little else to do in my very, very long shifts, which apparently go on all night. That's fine. So the master is in the drawing room. If you want to come through, he's still recuperating, as you can understand, and the lab is in no fit condition for any work. And
Of
he
course.
leads you through.
can I pass my coat to him to hang up?
Oh yeah. It's a very small coat, so that's fine.
Yeah.
Anybody else? He says. Anybody else wish to give me their rain-drenched coats?
I am particularly
Mine is quite damp, and because I'm aware of the fact that I am wearing basically men's clothing, and I'm going to delight in his horrible reaction, I'm going to hand my coat over.
Yes, he raises an eyebrow and pales somewhat, but I suppose given who he works for, nothing completely shocks him. He's not judging you. And sorry, Song, you say you hand over?
Yeah, I unfold the suit from my scarf and pass it over to him. The rest of me is just like wet.
Very good.
And my coat is covering the scarf and its contents.
Yep.
So I don't know if you hand it to me or hand it to him, but you've got my sea jacket.
Suit. Yeah.
Yeah, just hand it to Willikins. He'll go and hang them up, and then he ushers you into the drawing room. In the drawing room, there's a bookshelf, bookcases on the walls, and there's a large mirror above the fireplace, and there's a crackling log fire that's kicking out a nice amount of heat. And you can see that Langstrom is seated in a rather fine leather chair, but by the fire, and there's another leather chair that's kind of semi-opposite him as well, kind of facing him, that's empty. He says, "Oh, come over, come in, keep yourself warm by the fire. There's a seat for someone."
I just dump the suit onto one of the seats.
I sit on the floor on the rug next to the fire.
Okay.
And then I sit next to you because I am drenched. My fur is just like.
Ichabod, you were saying?
I was going to sit on the seat, but if the suit's now there, I'm going to sit on the suit.
Okay. Well, was the suit placed over the back of the chair or on the actual seat of the chair?
Song?
How did you place the suit?
Where was it, on the back of the chair?
Yeah, on the back of the chair. Sorry.
Okay, so there is still the seat available.
Yeah.
I'll sit on the seat.
Yep, and that leaves an ace to stand.
I'm gonna stand like with my elbow on the back of the chair.
Okay.
Well, you could perch on the side of the seat, like the armrest, like a lady.
I would, but I'm not. I'm gonna put my hand like not suggestively, but like I want it known that he can see that I'm armed.
He knows that he's hired you. Unless you want to roll for intimidation of an old bloke who's already been beaten up once. I mean, I will let you do that if you want. You can do it with advantage even if you wish.
Yeah, I will please. Ugh. Better. 14, 17.
He sees. He looks around and then eventually he catches an eye. And what weapon is it you're thrusting in his direction?
Dagger.
It's the dagger from York, so I'm hoping it's like serrated and delicious.
Okay. He lets out a shriek, seeing that he just gives out a shriek because you're brandishing his weapon in not an unsubtle way, and he just passes out in a dead faint.
Well, that was not useful.
I just sort of hit Anais on the arm.
Yeah.
I loathe dealing with amateurs. Somebody wake him up.
Willikins comes back in and says, "Oh my goodness, Master, what happened? Goodness me, what happened?"
We can get the smelling salt. This man is clearly traumatized.
Yeah, but why?
I just get like something wet from myself. I don't know, a scarf or whatever, and just like turn it over his head so that the water splashes down on him.
This poor man.
And Willikins glares at Wookie and says, "Can you stop just shaking water over everything?"
I am waking him up. We need to talk.
Why? Why is he not awake now? And you
That's
notice,
a good question. He must be very tired.
or maybe he's still recovering from being beaten within an inch of his life by thugs.
Quite possible, but right now is not time for sleeping. We are here.
Well, technically, I mean, it is actually technically time for sleeping. It's middle of the night. Anyway, that's fine. He starts to come to, and he kind of, he's passed a stiff brandy, and he says, that was dreadful. I suddenly thought that somebody came in brandishing weapons, and I thought somebody's going to steal from me again. It was like earlier. I've never felt so queer. It was
Quite the opposite.
We bring gifts.
We have the suit. We have the cylinder. What does it do? Tell me what it does.
Oh, no. Sorry, young lady. I cannot possibly tell you what it does.
We could find out. Where is the cylinder?
I look. I suppose. Well, here's a wheeze. I suppose I could kind of tell you, but you might just have to do more work for me.
Not necessary. Just payment would be nice.
Okay. Well, look, I'm quite happy to. Oh, have you got the thing? The other thing.
The Ichabod.
Igbo reaches into the inside of his pocket and pulls out a little box. And he does a little combination on it. It's like a little Chinese puzzle box.
Yep.
And he slides the lid off of that and he pulls out the cylinder.
Oh, extraordinary. Fantastic. So we have the suit and we have the cylinder. Excellent. And he, he holds out his kind of old withered hand for the cylinder as well.
Yeah, there's something about what it does.
No. If you remember, I said I could let you know a lot more, but it's conditional on the fact whether you're going to be working for me again.
Okay. So,
or we can find out ourselves. Let me put on the suit, and you see me attempt to put on this suit that is too big for me, like like a child putting on their parents' clothing.
Yeah, and as you do so, what you notice is you don't fit, and I'm not saying that you don't fit because you're too small for the average size human suit. Is the fact that the suit apparently, when you try and put it on, is far too small for you to get into.
I look down and I'm like, I'm put on weight.
So are you looking?
Must be all the delicious food from the other day.
Yes, it must be. Now look, I know money's not an issue. Willikins will make sure you get paid on the way out. But now you've got me the suit and the power supply. Maybe you can. I think when we first met, I mentioned about a second part to this arrangement. Is that not correct?
Yes, you did.
Okay, so the bit that young Anais is quibbling is actually the second part, which you kind of technically already agreed to. So I'm rather hoping that the agreement is still in place.
What is it you need?
What did I agree to?
Well, you definitely just agreed. That's fine.
Yeah, I know, but I need to know what I agreed to.
Well, you should have read the terms and conditions.
I just signed my name.
Yeah, that's fine. So, look, I'm quite happy to tell you a bit more information, but it's on condition that you will agree to do the next part. I can't tell you if you're going to wibble wobble or flippy flop about whether you're going to help me or not.
As long as you tell me what the cylinder does and what the suit does, I will continue to help.
Igbo can tell you that the cylinder powers the suit.
Yes, very
What
good.
does the suit do?
I don't know.
How long will this take? Because we may need to skip town.
Well, in that case, young Wookie, you are definitely in luck because the next part is actually involving you taking a railway locomotive.
I like this. We can do this.
Yes.
Class.
Oh,
Sorry, I didn't hear what you said.
What class are we taking the train?
Whatever you can afford.
Excellent.
Very
What
well.
can you afford?
Well, I'm already paying you, really, so I think it's another 500.
Yeah, but this is expenses.
No, you don't.
Right, Anise?
You don't get per
Wait,
diem,
this is
right?
expenses, right?
How we get the job done is up to us. We're paid for the job, not how it's done.
where are we going?
Okay. We're getting mightily ahead of ourselves because I'm aware there's a lot of you that aren't even here. So, for the purposes of exposition, we'll assume that they also are agreeing to go on this mission because that's just far easier. I have a proposal for you before we go into any more details. It's 12:30 in the morning. You are still wet and mostly cold, although Igbo, you probably would have dried out quite quickly because you're so tiny. If you wish to stay here for the evening, that serves two purposes. First of all, you can get warm, sleep in comfortable beds, and I can tell you more first thing in the morning. And secondly, if those ruffians and rapscallions wish to come back and steal anything, then I know that I've got some extra help here also. So would you agree to staying here for the night? I'm sure you'll agree that I pose no threat to you. I've actually been giving you money and employing you as I said I would.
So we're protecting you tonight. Is that the plan?
You'll only be protecting me if something happens. And
Something's gonna happen.
Something's going to happen. How would you know that?
Threatening him.
No, I'm saying we tricked Rostov. He's not going to be happy when he finds out.
What? You tricked who?
No.
Can you organise a cot for me next to the fire?
No, you don't. Ladies and gentlemen do not sleep in the drawing room. Everybody knows that.
Ignore the cat. She's tired from the evening.
Kind of.
Really willing to call my man at the hotel and have an item or two brought over. Ladies don't sort of sleep in this attire.
Ladies shouldn't even wear that attire in the daytime or the night.
I am not a lady and would like to sleep in a cot in front of the fire, please.
You are not sleeping on a cot in front of the fire. We've established that. Stop asking. Yes, Willikins can send a telegram to your hotel. Just give him the details, and he'll arrange that.
Are you going to tell me what the suit does?
Wow, you're very impatient. Just wait there and stop interrupting.
Just like curl up in front of the fire a bit more. Try to dry myself.
Sleep in front of the fire. I've established that. If you do that, then the dwarf will do that.
No, I'm just warming myself. I'm still drenched.
Very fine. Okay. So I take it there's general agreement that you will stay here the night.
Yes.
Okay. Very well.
Sleepovers.
Yes. Willikins will show you to your rooms, and I suggest we have a further discussion over breakfast.
Song, do you want a bunk bed?
I preferably would like somebody to stay awake.
Well, Willikins can. He gets paid to do it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to investigate my room very thoroughly, if you don't mind.
Sure. So I'll assume that you've passed on your hotel details to Willikins, and a hotel boy will bring over whatever it is you're asking, as long as it's not too big.
I'm
and heavy.
specifically wanting the peach walking dress and the parasol.
Certainly. Okay. We'll pretend that the hotel knows exactly where that they are, and they are brought over about an hour later.
Excellent.
Just to wake up Willikins again.
Oh, definitely excellent then.
I'm surprised that you didn't ask for your silk stockings to be brought as well.
Oh, I'm still wearing them.
There, that was an answer. Okay, so unless anyone objects, we shall have you go to your rooms. You'll be pleased to know there's a small coal fireplace and chimney breast in each room, so you will not be cold. The beds are large single beds, which for Iqbo would be like a super king size. And yeah,
are we all in different rooms?
Yes, there's enough rooms there. Yeah, so the rooms are very comfortable. And Ace, you wish to roll investigation?
Yes. The point being, I want to knock on the walls to see if I can hear anything. I want to see if there's any surveillance, that sort of stuff.
Sure. Roll me an investigation then, please.
16 plus 19.
The room doesn't seem particularly extraordinary in any particular way. Iqbo will probably hear you knocking on his wall. So, you know, the walls aren't that thick. He will hear a knocking from the wall. But there's no secret compartments or anything extraordinary about the room.
I would prefer seeing our situation and that Rostov knows where these items most likely are, is that one of us should keep watch with Willikins, because he is so adept.
That's why Iqbo has it in his box, because it's anti-magic.
Huh?
That's why Iqbo has it in his little box, it's anti-magic.
He knows that we'll bring it here though, right?
Oh, yeah.
If you want to stay up, and what the professor was saying wasn't that Willikins stays up all night to stand guard. It's that if something happens, he will wake up. So there's nobody really to set up with, unless you want to just keep Willikins awake, which would be extraordinarily cruel.
Maybe unless I'm just being over precautious, we did just see him disappear from somewhere, so I'm assuming it can go the other way. If maybe we stay up in 2-hour shifts, we could make sure that nothing happens.
Is Timber with us at the mansion?
No, he was busy working in his workshop, so he wasn't at the warehouse or at any time.
Does anybody here realize that we kind of forgot something? We kind of forgot to ask where Gregor is and how he's doing.
He said he was fine though.
He said he was fine. But he's not very good with details.
Fine.
Iqbal would like to go back to the part where he heard knocking on his
Wall.
wall. So he's going to leave his room and go to the room adjacent to him where the knocking came from.
Yep. Okay.
He's going to knock on the door.
That's Anais's door.
Come in, Iqbal.
How did you know it was me?
Yeah. How did you know?
I'm knocking on the wall next to your room. Who else would come through?
I'm not sure you knew it was his room.
Pitter
Oh, okay.
patter of tiny feet.
In that case, it's just come in.
I don't enter the room. I just say, "Why are you knocking on my wall?"
I'm checking for blank hollow areas.
You're a
As should
lunatic.
you.
I just say you're a lunatic and walk off.
Seems fair.
Is the manservant in the hallway?
No, he's probably retired to his room.
Okay, so now that I'm not being surveyed by the household,
Nobody was surveying you at all. They were just being irritated by you.
that's fine. So I take the bedding from my bed and then go over to Song's door because obviously there's no timber to go visit, and I knock on the door.
Hi,
Song.
Wookie.
Can I sleep in your room? Because with all that's happening, I just don't think that we should be by ourselves, really. And I would much rather sleep on the floor in front of your fire.
Do you know what? That makes me feel much better about going to sleep. Sure, come on in.
So I make myself like a bed nest in front of the fire and just curl up there.
Okay. So everyone's in their own rooms now. It's by the time you all get kind of sorted out, it's about 1 o'clock in the morning. Presumably you fall asleep. The rooms are very comfortable. The beds are comfortable, and it gets to the next morning. There's no fraud. Nothing happens overnight. And let's say it's 7 a.m. So the sun is up and the birds are singing and the rain has stopped.
Iqbal is sleeping.
Time for breakfast. I'm
Anaïs is
famished.
Yep.
I'm probably up as early as I can be, doing my morning meditation.
So for those who are up,
I'm still asleep, like in a very unusual pose in front of the fire.
okay, so Song and
nest.
Anaïs, you will go downstairs to the dining room, and there's a large table there. Professor Langstrom's already there. He's in his dressing gown, and he's got a little bed cap on as well. And there's a fine spread of toast and eggs and bacon. And he says, "Oh, please sit down, please sit down. Where's the others?"
Sleeping.
Oh, really? I don't want to have to repeat myself. Willikins, go and wake them up. Yes, master. He looks very tired. And so Willikins goes upstairs and he knocks gently but firmly on Iqbal's door and on where he thinks Wookie is, where she's not.
Iqbal would answer the door in a few moments.
Yep.
Oh, yes, I think I overslept, haven't I?
Good morning. So, yes, that's okay. Your friends are downstairs and breakfast is being served and the master wishes to discuss the next phase of his mission.
Iqbal sort of just wipes his face and like waking up sort of moment, and he's like, yes, I will be down.
Very good, sir. And he goes and knocks on Wookie's door again.
Silence.
Is she normally a heavy sleeper, do you know, sir?
I do not know much about her, but I do know she doesn't like being alone, so she may be in someone else's room. I do not know.
Is she in your room, perchance?
Oh, she was in my room.
You're downstairs.
Oh, I thought he'd come back downstairs.
No.
Sorry.
I don't know where.
So not that room, not this one. And he rolls a d6 and he knocks on Song's door.
Does not answer. Still asleep.
And so he knocks on Anais's door. And obviously there's no answer there either. He says, "Well, this is awfully frustrating. Are you sure she was even here?" "Oh, very well." And he gently opens the door to Song's room and sees you laying in a crumpled heap on the floor. He goes over and he kind of looks a couple of times down the seat, nobody's looking in, just kind of gently pokes you in the back with his foot. Very good, madam. Breakfast is being served, and your attendance is required downstairs in the dining room. Please make haste.
And I excitedly get up and rush downstairs.
Cool.
Do you push him out of the way as you run past?
Yeah, I was definitely
Not intentionally.
Yeah, he almost got slammed into the wall on the way out. So you go down. You're all now in the dining room. Breakfast is being served. You can help yourself. Once breakfast, during breakfast, Professor Langstrom makes a lot of small talk, which for him is dreadfully boring. And the breakfast things are cleared away. And let me just, what I need to do.
I hold onto my plate a little bit longer, and it's like heavily piled with food.
That's fine. And so he's gonna, once everything's been cleared away to his satisfaction, he will bring up the map, which you should be able to see now.
Many maps.
Many maps, and this is the map of the map. This is the mappiest map you've ever seen. And he says, "Okay,
Bill.
Sorry,
It's still, we just do the folder."
Oh, how bizarre!
Hasn't actually opened.
Right, let me try again then. Okay, see it now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yep.
So he produces the map that you would recognize as being obviously where you live. And he says, look, I mentioned very briefly last night about a mission, the second part of the mission, and I intimated that would require you to take a bit of a steam locomotive expedition.
Yes.
I hope you're okay with this. I can certainly... I thought on it last night, and I think some expenses wouldn't go amiss. So I will pay for your railway ticket. I will pay for second class. I'm not a man. I'm an academic. I'm not royalty.
I just look over at Anais.
I'm going to upgrade my ticket. It's fine.
Upgrade at the station. That's absolutely fine. But I need you to take a trip, and I need you to go to the town of Running Horse. Now, as you can see from the map, Running Horse is all the way over here on the Menlu-Mayu border. Now, I have heard that there is a railroad line being built from Jamestown to Running Horse, but it is not yet connected and working. So the next stage of this mission will require you to take a train to Jamestown. And
Camping.
Well, if you wish. Once you're in Jamestown,
Again, I look at Anais.
you can disembark there and make your way to Running Horse. There are various methods of you being able to get there, the most common of which is coach and horses. And there I will need you to embark upon what is substantively the next part of the very important mission that involves the suit and the power supply, which you are required to take with you.
Does this mean I get to find out what it does?
Well, it would be very hard for you to do the next part if you didn't find out what it was meant to do. Now, two things. First of all, I'm aware that some of your colleagues are not here. So you need to impress upon them what I'm about to impress upon you. Because of the next part of the mission, I need to tell you what the suit does. However, I would prefer it if it was not widely broadcast for reasons that will become apparent when I tell you. So first of all, I need you to agree to this. Utmost confidentiality.
I threw a mouthful of food. I go, yeah.
Yes, and what about you, young kobold? Are you agreeing to confidentiality?
As you may be aware of my services, good sir, confidentiality is my specialty.
Excellent. Well, and I appreciate that. And young Anais, you are agreeing to confidentiality, one would assume.
A rather interesting agreement to make when one already knows what it does. But in the
Oh,
interest
no,
of saving
no.
time,
Please
I will
tell me what it does.
I believe, if my sources are correct, that it is a suit of reanimation.
A suit of animation?
Reanimation, my sweet.
It's not exactly that simple, I'm afraid. You were certainly on the right lines, and it's rather disturbing that certain rumours are actually quite so close to the mark. But so what I need you to do is I need you to travel to Running Horse, and once there, I need you to attend the cemetery that's at Running Horse.
Is it called Sleeping Dog?
If you wish it to be called Sleeping Dog, I don't know.
I was actually saying that as a Wookiee, just like as her sense of humor, but if you want to make it, it's fine.
It's definitely not called Sleeping Dog.
All right.
But you need to take yourself there, and once there's a tomb. So it's not like a tombstone. It's not like the cemetery. It's actually a mausoleum, I think it's called. And you need to enter said mausoleum, and that's when you will power up the suit. Any questions so far?
Power up suit when we enter?
Yes. Yes, that's very important. Don't.
And then we will draw animations.
Yes, darling, that's exactly what we'll do.
Good.
And I slide some bacon over to you.
Happily eats it.
And what will happen when we power up the suit?
Well, what I'm hoping happens next is rather theoretical, I suppose, is the best way for me to put this. What needs to happen is that you need to catch the very essence and spirit of a ghost that I'm postulating may be there. My theory is that around graves and grave sites, therein exists spirits of the dearly departed. And what I'm hoping is that this suit, once powered up, will sort of attract the spirit within the suit, and the suit will then become animated with the ghost inside.
One question, if I may.
One question, yes.
Should the wearer of said suit at the time of being powered up, should we have a somewhat disposable relationship with that person?
Why is someone wearing the suit?
Nobody's in the suit. It's impossible to wear the suit.
Okay.
Yes, I would thoroughly recommend not being in the suit when it's powered up. I can theorize what happens one direction when the dead go into the suit, but I can't imagine what would happen when the suit's powered up with somebody living inside.
Whose mausoleum?
Ah, that's a very good question. And he pulls out his pad and his pen, because he probably should have thought of this a little bit beforehand.
We'll just look in all of them.
This is a really good idea. Have you thought about selling this? Because I would love to talk to my dad, and it sounds like you could.
Well, let's see how this works first, because, well, it's exciting and it's groundbreaking, and it's never been done before. So the mausoleum you're looking for contains the mortal remains of James Henry McCoy.
Okay.
This isn't just a random shade or apparition that I'm after. There is a very specific spirit I wish to enhance my suit with. Yes.
Does the personality of the ghost imbue itself into the suit also? Or is it a power source?
How many ghosts have you encountered before, and what were their personalities?
I'm not. That's why I'm asking.
Why would I know?
Such things are impossible, good sir.
So you've not met him before?
No, not since he's dead, no. I knew of him whilst he was alive, certainly.
This does not seem possible. This reanimation, it does not fit. It should not work.
Well, I think we need to be careful about using the R word. It's not reanimation. We're not bringing the dead back to life. We are merely capturing what is already there.
And then what?
And then you bring
Say this works. We bring this thing back to you.
So what I think will need to happen is that once you are successful in getting McCoy in the suit, you can then take the power source out the suit and bring everything back with you.
So is it like catching a will-o'-the-wisp inside the suit
Spot on.
and then having it walk about in it?
Well, as I say, this has never been done before, so what happens next is somewhat a matter of conjecture. I'm sure it's entirely safe.
What if this suit becomes hostile?
Well, I will leave that in your capable hands as to know what to do next.
I would say we set it on fire, but either way, I'm in, and I salute you with my hot chocolate.
I didn't know we served hot chocolate at breakfast time. Goodness me, this isn't the 20th century just yet.
This is not a common breakfast.
No, I know.
Cocoa is a thing that ladies abide by. I had some sent over.
Very well, very well. So the train departs at 9 o'clock this evening from the station. I will provide you with the funds for tickets, for second-class tickets. Everything else you will have to provide for yourself. I'm not Daddy Warbucks, so. Have you got any further questions?
I'm going to need for provisions, I think.
Yes.
When the suit is powered in the ghost, you do not know what will happen.
Well, I have a strong suspicion, being a scientist as I am. I've written several papers on what I think will happen. Yes.
Could you summarize it in a few sentences? What you think might happen?
I think this suit will become animated.
Would it be hostile towards us?
I would hope not.
Was he a hostile person? Was he an angry person?
Good Lord, no. He was an academic like me.
Right.
So he was a know-it-all person.
Well, he was very much a know-it-all in his field. Yes.
Once the suit becomes animated, how do we control it? Or is the ghost in control?
As I mentioned, I may have mentioned earlier, once the suit is clearly animated, you remove the power source.
And it will stop
the spirit should then remain within the suit.
Okay.
Yes.
Is it like a balloon, and so if you accidentally open it, it will like get out?
Yes. Yes. Why not?
I just thought of Big Hero 6. Sorry. Now that's however I'm going to see his Baymax when his suit powers up. What else does this cylinder power?
I'd rather not discuss that too much. I think I've told you plenty about what the mission is and what the suit does and what you're doing. It's not really for me to speculate any further.
I'm just worried about you. See, Rostov wanted this cylinder. He didn't want the suit.
So tell me more about this Rostov chappie.
Song, in Scray on the Wolf's Grey.
Well, where are we going to get our money otherwise? And how am I supposed to know what this does?
Okay, so Song, I'd rather appreciate it if you was just to be open and honest with me.
We got the cylinder from Rostov. He thinks we gave it back. We didn't. He'll want it back.
Yes, because he probably wants the power of the future ?
Even that question.
Yeah, this is deeply troubling that Rostov. I don't know him, but I know of him.
Can you make another one?
Another Rostov? No, I don't create Rostovs.
The cylinder.
Well, I suppose.
These are my selection of wolves.
I suppose in theory another cylinder could be made, but it's awfully hard, and it's almost, I would suggest, one of a kind. Its potential is unfathomable.
Rostov wants it, so you might want to start working on another one, or give up the one you already have, or else we may come back to you missing, dead, in the hands of Rostov, asking him to make another one.
You will actually have it with you.
Yes, that won't stop him killing you.
Yeah,
Might I recommend going on a temporary vacation? Sir?
Oh, there you go.
well,
Take a
yes.
holiday.
I mean, thankfully my lab has been damaged at the moment, so maybe now would be a good time to.
You should find a sick aunt to visit.
A sick what?
Or you could
Aunt.
just go to the beach.
Or uncle.
Okay, darling, you're overthinking this.
To
The
be
man just
honest,
needs a
I have no living relatives. It may come as a huge surprise to you.
No, but that's what people say when they want to like go away for no apparent reason.
Wookie, you're doing this. You need to do more of this.
I just like stab something and shove it in my mouth.
There we go.
I mean, to be fair, the breakfast things have already been cleared away, but I don't know what you shoved in your mouth.
No, I said I kept my plate and it was well piled.
Okay, very well. I will allow it. Okay. Well, unless you have any further pertinent questions to the mission, I will send you on your way. And you will each receive 500 marks more. Notes of the realm. And yes, the train departs at 9 o'clock this evening, so don't be late or you'll miss your train.
So 8:30, Icbo.
I'm sorry, what? I wasn't listening.
Train departs at 9, 8:30. That's when you're going to be there. You're
What, in the
late this
morning?
evening.
Right, well, if you guys are all fine, I'm going to go shopping for provisions.
Very
We
well.
will meet at the station this afternoon. Evening.
Yep. So you leave Langstrom's home. You are given 500 marks each, and the extra money for those who've already taken part thus far will be given to Song in safekeeping. He doesn't trust Igbo or Anais, and frankly, Wookie's just too bonkers to give any particular amount of money to. But bizarrely, he trusts Song of the River. She has an honest-looking face.
So how much, who is that for 3 others? Is he paying Rosa too?
Yes, he is a man of his word, and you know he is aware that
Okay.
Rosa is, although it wouldn't have been his choice to have Rosa as an extra person. There is money for Rosa there also. So you leave now. Okay. So a couple of things, and we'll get to individuals, what you want to do in that time first.
Oh, we take the suit and cylinder with us, right? Because we need those.
Yes.
Yes.
They're put in a handy like heavy canvas haversack, so it can be carried on the back. It just looks like a normal knapsack kind of thing. As you head back into the city, you notice that the newsstands are rather busy. There's a lot of action around the newsstands. You all know what newsstands are?
Yeah.
Yes, where the
Extra.
exactly, it's where the kids sell their
Is there anyone making like calls at the newsstands about what is the news and what they're selling?
Well, they're selling newspapers, but yeah, they are shouting out. Different news boys are shouting out different things, but like in kind of like a news ticker, so it's on a rotating basis. So yeah.
Right. I take it if there's like, you know, some hot news that will be like the focus of their calls. Is there something that stands out?
Well, there's 2 things that stand out. One involves Rusland. The news of the day is that there seems to be a lot more naval activity from Rusland towards the north of their country, and we're talking. So the news boys are exclaiming that ironclads are seen heading north. Ironclads being the battleship of the day.
I'll grab a paper.
Yep, sure. And the other main news that will be pertinent to your group is that Takonga has closed its borders to any foreign person. And rumors abound that there are kind of diplomatic quarrels at the moment between Edisonia and Takonga that are being taken very seriously. Now, as pointed out last week, there are already diplomatic tensions between Edisonia and Rusland as well. So it's quite a busy news day in that respect, because there seems to be a lot of important developments for Edisonia.
Okay. None of this interests Wookie.
No.
So she will go to where she thinks maybe a supply store would be.
What sort of store?
Well, she believes that the people she's with aren't very cluey about looking after themselves in the wilderness,
Yep.
and that they are possibly may end up a little bit off road. So she's just making sure that she's got enough supplies for both herself and for looking after the others.
Fine. So tell me what supplies you're buying.
Or just maybe some basic camping gear, some rations, just so that, like, you know, I can like build a fire or something should we be having to hide ourselves even in the woods. Nothing.
You're buying an adventuring kit.
So buying
I would have adventuring stuff for myself, but I'm buying extra for others because I'm jumping to the conclusion that we may be tracked because we're carrying around this valuable stuff, and that it may come down to me having to drag them into the woods. And I imagine there'll be some kicking and screaming, but like Wookie is just like, this is the reality of what we've accepted.
Okay, so just out of interest, do you say, so when you're in the shop, do you mention any of this to the shopkeeper about I suppose what you're looking for and what the purposes are?
Oh, well, I'm going to go camping with my friends.
Okay, oh that's interesting. Where are you going camping?
In the woods nearby. And then like I explained that like we're going to Sleepy Dog or Running Pony or something along those lines.
Running Horse, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. I might just point out that there aren't many woods and forests in that part of the world. It's mostly rolling plains and grassland.
Oh, okay. Well, then I won't need so much kit then. But I just get kind of like enough provisions that if we do need to hide ourselves to some degree, that we can do so. But I don't make a big do of that we are trying to hide. That we're just out on an adventure for friends and bonding.
Certainly. Cool. I'm going to move to Anais because Anais said that she would be going shopping. So Anais, what are you buying?
Anais is going to go to the general store. She's going to buy rations for 10 days.
Yep.
Rope, first aid kit, tarpaulin, and a thin nylon cord.
So, sorry, rope, rations, first aid kit, what was then?
Tarpaulin, or like just a bit of cloth. Canvas, I guess the word, canvas.
Yep, okay. And a cord, you say?
Yeah, a thin nylon cord of, say, 60 centimeters.
Okay. Have you invented nylon yet?
No, let's go piano wire. I'm sure there's pianos.
Okay. Thin wire cord, because that's not suspicious at all.
Not at all.
Okay, that's fine. Wookie, I will also give you a box of matches as well as part of the camping gear.
Cool. I love how like Anais actually knows all the bits and pieces where Wookie just like walks in and goes, I want camp stuff.
Yeah, camp stuff.
Camp stuff.
Okay, Song, are you going shopping at all?
Audio.
Great, thank you. I paused it because I got my tea. Just some rations. So yeah, 10 days of rations, I guess.
Yep. All right.
Actually, is there like any maps that I can buy of the area now that I know that I'm going to Ponytown?
Yeah, so you can buy a map of Western Edsonia.
Excellent.
Which would cover the appropriate parts. Okay, so just rations for Song, nothing else?
No, she's pretty used to being out in the wilderness.
Self-sufficient.
Yeah.
And Ikbo?
Well, Ikbo just goes back to his shop that he runs. He gets his adventuring gear ready. Make sure he has toilet paper.
Okay.
He'll also look at a map and see the distance between Running Horse and Jamestown to see how far away it is, so how long it would take by horse and cart.
Yep.
So how long would a trip by horse and cart take?
Damn you for asking. At least a day and a night.
Yep. So he'll take probably a week's worth of rations just to be safe.
Yep.
Would I have, so I pretty much got in my inventory the adventuring gear stuff.
Yep.
Can I just pack that when I get back to my lodgings?
I'll assume that, going on an adventure, everyone would take their adventuring kit. It's just really to see if you bought anything extra. Because what I'm going to try and do in this game is hold people to what they do and what they don't have. So if somebody says, "Oh, I'm going to climb this cliff and I'm going to use my 60-foot of rope," and unless I'm clear that you've got that, then you won't be doing that. And as Stuart will be able to tell you that, if you want to go out and camping without a tent, then there is obviously kind of implications and repercussions for that.
So inventory is backpack, bedroll, clothes, mess kit, rations, rope, tinderbox, torch, and water skin.
And tent, obviously.
Well, who's
Rations,
buying
bedroll,
Bedrolls, same.
warm clothes.
I'm fairly sure that the adventuring kit doesn't contain a tent as standard.
No, but Igbo brings his.
And it doesn't include warm clothes, but
Yeah.
what are the temperatures like in this area?
Just very rainy and wet.
Nights are cold. Where you're heading will also be likely to be exposed as well. There's not much, as I say, there's no forests or anything, so it could be quite windswept when the weather's bad. I think we said it was kind of like mid-springtime, so it's mixed bag. When it's sunny and dry, it's very pleasantly warm. When it's raining and windy, it's unpleasantly cold.
So it's Perth.
Probably less rain than Perth, yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so you've done all your shopping, which is good. So I have something of a quandary now, because I wanted to start the next bit, but the next bit is a good place to start episode 5, because obviously we're missing 3 people, and whilst I'm assuming they're coming on the adventure, it makes for far lesser experience that if I do the next bit without them. So what I'm thinking, because we've had an hour and a half.
How about we find Gregor?
If you wish, we can certainly do that. Yeah, if somebody wants to.
Conversation thing, didn't we?
Sorry?
Pardon?
How did we find him last time? Someone did a mind speak thing.
So I cast sending last time, and he just replied with "I'm fine,"
which Rostov seemed to not imply.
Not at all.
So are we like gathering back together to, I don't know, purchase tickets or something, and I could cast sending then?
Sure, let's do that.
Yeah, let's make it like 5 o'clock in the afternoon, so there's a good amount of time before the train needs to depart. But sure, you can gather. In fact, I think I've got a map for this. Let me just. Oops, hold on. Okay, can you see that?
Just the folder.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's all right. Oh, bloody thing.
I think if you click on the map.
Yeah, so I know what I'm doing now. Just bear with me.
So this train, is it like individual like little carriages, or is it like more like a packed train?
The train, as far as you understand it, is a locomotive with about 10 passenger cars. Well, there's 10 carriages. Some will be for passengers, some will be sleeper, and you presume there will be a dining car and a caboose and things like that. It's a mixed train. And,
Okay.
Probably carrying some mail as well.
So will it have those sections that have like the separate little cubicles?
Is it like the Hogwarts Express?
Yeah, some of the first class carriages will be semi-contained like that. Yeah. Okay, so you've gathered outside the station. It's 5 o'clock in the late afternoon, early evening. Tell me what you do next. So the station's here, by the way. It's on the corner of Voltaire and Da Vinci. So
Where is he, Wookie?
Where's who?
Gregor.
I don't know. He was at the foundry last time and he said he was fine.
Rostov seemed to imply he was not fine.
Do you want me to talk to him?
Yes, please.
Okay, so I do what I have to do to cast Sending.
Yep.
And I go, Gregor, it's been a while since we've seen you and we're very worried. Can you please explain where you are and so we can like collect you because we're off on a train ride?
oh, voice in head again. I like this. I am well. Where are you?
And I can't reply back unless I
you
like
cast
cast
it
again.
Yeah, well, he doesn't know that. So.
Yeah.
Hope you got lots of spell slots.
Hey.
I hope you got lots of spell slots.
No, this is like my expensive one. So wait a sec. Are we still in the same day? Oh no, I would have rested.
Yeah, we're
So
in the day.
I would. How many of these can I do? I said just need to look at my spell. How many spell slots I have?
And we can rest on the train.
Yeah.
Okay, so I can only cast this twice in a day.
Okay, so you cast it once.
Yeah.
Make the next one a good one.
I turn around to the others and I go, he's not very good at this.
Just tell him when and where to meet. He'll turn up.
Before 9 because we'll leave it.
We're leaving 9 o'clock from this station.
The train departs. at 9.
Train station.
Steam locomotive.
Do we not want to see him before we leave tomorrow? Like it seems
Tonight. Yeah, we want to see him. before
also we
leave
need
tonight.
he needs to buy a ticket, he needs to get his stuff. Like, you know.
So we are at the train station. Can you meet us here now? No, not can. Let's just like meet us here, or where can we meet you now?
Okay.
This is going to go well.
And we are not at all concerned that he is with someone and divulging this information.
Do not give him the information of the train we're departing on. Maybe pick a neutral location.
So, okay. This is going so well.
What's around us? Like, what's the building across the road from us?
I don't know.
Where is the
created a
closest
map.
pub?
This isn't a real city that really exists. I don't know what's in it.
Hypothetically, is there a post office across
You're the
the road?
DM, you can just make stuff up.
This is a solid city. If you're not looking at it, it doesn't exist.
It's someone's
Post office.
Okay, tell me what you would like there to be close by.
A post
A
office.
pub.
A
There is
post
a pub
office?
near everything.
You want to send a letter?
No, but logically, like a good place for a post office would be somewhere that sends the post. So like a train would be a logical conclusion, but it's also a public building. So if we're going to say meet us at like ye old post office or something like that,
There is
that's the location.
There is a post and telegraph office within the station complex itself.
Perfect.
Would Gregor know where? I can't remember him saying he can't read. So
What's the closest pub?
yeah, he would frequent pubs, or best known landmark, a big park with a statue or something, a clock.
It's not nearby.
Well, it's getting towards evening. It would make sense that we would meet somewhere for food or drink or both.
There's literally a park across the road.
There's a park. Let's go to there. Because no, I'm not welcome at the fancy buffet.
Big tree on the corner, bottom right hand corner. That one.
I'm sure
yes.
that there would be some place less fancy near the train station.
Yeah, there's
For
all this stuff here.
commuters.
Le Fay Ver's not that far away from it either, and the White Hart is here.
Let's just go to the White Hart. He knows
Yeah.
where that is. We know where that is. But send the message first. Tell him, meet us at the White Hart. Otherwise, where can we find you now?
Okay, will do. So I do my thing, and I go, Gregor, we're all going to get together for dinner at the White Hart. Could you please meet us there, or let us know where you are?
That's too many letters.
No, it's not. It's 25. That was 23.
Know how many letters it's words.
Hmm.
Okay.
I'm a cleric, so I had this in another game, so I count.
So you send that message to him?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you're now out of spells, aren't you?
I'm out of.
Don't tell the DM.
No, you're out of messages spells. That's what I'm saying.
I'm out of messages, yeah.
Because you are aware that the message, the last time and the only time you now can use the message, because you've used them all now, you told him everything except what time.
Now. She said now.
Oh, did she say now?
Yeah. That's why I said say now. So.
Okay, well, I'm assuming he's not busy then. How very demanding. Okay, well, you know.
So I've just said that we're going to go for dinner.
Okay.
And it's like twilight. So I'm presuming that he also gets the fact that it's now.
Okay.
Like we are about to go there.
Yep, makes sense to me.
So
Is there a response?
you can reply in 25 words or less.
I've been told that I can't respond, so.
You can't respond.
You said that I can't reply to the message you send.
No, I could not. You asked me a question when you replied to me. I could not reply back to you because it goes one way, then the other way, then it ends.
Okay, so you get a reply that says, "Da, I will be there."
Oh, good. Let's go get dinner.
Okay, so we head there.
Okay, so you hasten to the White Hart. It's about 5:30 in the evening, so it's quite busy. People are going in there for their sundowners and office staff.
1 second.
Yes.
Team, where do we put the power thing and the coat in the meantime? Is that still over at the mansion, or
They go to my backpack. I've got the backpack.
I've got the battery.
so we are taking these things with us?
Igbo doesn't let it go. It's in his lockbox.
And I
Okay.
have the backpack on, I would assume.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So the White Hart is pretty busy in there. It's quite smoky and there's piano music and it's a bit rowdy.
What kind of drinks and food do they serve?
Whichever drinks and food you wish to have.
I want to get my cheese platter again.
Yep, they
That
definitely.
was
I'm
so
just waiting for
delicious.
someone to ask for a menu.
Yeah, it's not this sort of establishment where you get a menu. There is a chalkboard with like the specials of the day, and
Is this where we went for soup?
Yep.
And the coffee that I didn't get, or no, the tea that I didn't
I
get.
don't do tea.
Because it's
Yes.
a pub.
And they didn't do cider, and I was disappointed, but I got 2 beers out of the deal.
see, happy memories of the White Hart. You see,
It's already our go-to place.
it's the gang's headquarters.
So I order mead, and are they still doing the oxtail soup?
It's braised calf's head now.
All good, I'll get that.
Yep.
With like crusty bread.
Yeah, that's cool. Anyone else with any particular?
I'll have a toasted cheese sandwich.
No, they don't do toasted cheese sandwiches. Okay, you can have
A
bread
cheese-
and cheese, and how
That
you
doesn't sound sufficiently fancy.
Is it
roll me a
fancy
D20.
cheese?
So, Anais, you can roll me a D20 as you say this to the pub land lady or the serving lady.
Should be asking for like, what's it, cheese fondue or something.
Just as soon as I find my dice. 1 second.
The miracle of
Igbo is asking for bubble and squeak.
it's more bubble than squeak. What was that?
It fell down the back of my desk and it got about 20.
Yeah. Okay. Now you roll it on the table and do it properly.
Oh.
was a waste. 20. 17, close enough.
All right.
She dropped it again.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fine. You asked for toasted cheese sandwiches, and the landlady says, "Well, look, we'll bring you the bread. We'll bring you the cheese. Hey, you want to? Maybe you can sit on it. Maybe that'll toast it.
Okay.
It's up to you." Yeah.
I could get my knife and put it on top of the bread and cast heat metal. That might work.
I hope that's a cantrip, because otherwise that's a wasted spell slot.
It's not.
You don't do that.
See the knife like go red hot and bend.
Yeah.
You like try to spread the cheese.
Is it really? Because that would be pretty cool. And you get your spells back after a rest anyway. So
Go on, I'll give it a try.
Red cheese sandwich.
I'd put it on top so it toasts.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Put it on top and cast
Don't
heat
stab it
metal.
in the middle. It just toast a circle.
whose knife is being used?
My knife.
You just have to do it in sections.
It's also 2d8 of metal. Sorry.
Choose a manufactured metal object such as a
How much hit points does a cheese sandwich have?
metal weapon.
I'm trying to work out its armor class right now as well.
Any creature in physical contact with the object takes 2d8 fire damage when you cast it.
You're going to make me roll 2d8 to find out if my toast sandwich goes up.
So,
What type of cheese?
You just put some carbon.
So yeah, you do cast heat metal, and the very, very hot knife just burns its way through the bread and the cheese and the bread. Does anybody try to grab the knife before it burns?
And the
into
plate
Don't grab the
and the
knife.
chopping block.
Yeah, there's a lot of smoke coming from the table.
There you go, a nice toasted sandwich.
The
You're
middle of my
welcome.
sandwich is missing, but I am eyeing the edges. Oh, crispy.
To be fair, it has got really crispy edges.
Yeah, good, excellent.
So you basically got a choice of, you've got two sandwiches now. One half is raw, the other half is black. Yeah. On each. So you got two halves of sandwich, and they're both ruined in one way or another. So
I'll pick up the raw, because a raw cheese sandwich is just a sandwich, whereas the other one is charcoal. So I'm just going
Well,
to eat.
if you've got some soft cheese, you can just roll it in the ashes.
yeah, you could do that.
I actually like ash cheese.
So as you're going through this, Gregor appears. He goes to the table. There you go. You see, got my Gregor hat on. So any excuse to wear a funny hat. That's what I say. And so he sits at the table. You can tell he's been in the wars. He's got his eye is still slightly swollen. There's clear laceration marks over his face and his arms and his However, he says, "Oh, welcome everyone. It's good to see you all again."
How was work?
Oh, and then I touched Gregor's face and I cast healing word.
Oh, that is very nice, short lady. Work was good. Well, I always busy at work, So, but I have a few days off now, so it is good.
Are you getting bullied at work? I do not like this.
No,
Look
no
at your
bully.
eye.
No people bully Gregor.
What happened to you, Gregor?
Disbelief.
Oh, it's just an argument, There's nothing to worry about. I'm
Is it
fine.
because we asked you where Rostov was?
Oh, look, hold on. Roll persuasion.
Hmm.
Oh, crap.
You get 15 hit points.
Persuasion.
Max.
10.
Okay. Oh, look, it was nothing about this Rostov who you speak. I know not. It is nothing to do with that. No.
I'm going to put my finger under his jaw, look him in the eye and say, Gregor, tell me how you got your injuries. And I'm going to use persuasion.
Okay. Do roll persuasion first then. Not on the floor this time, because I don't trust your floor.
Yeah, no, I know that. All right, so my persuasion plus 9 on top of my 14 means I'm pretty sure he tells me the truth.
Oh, look, it is okay. Look, I ask questions about this Rostov man. I get answers, and then I get into argument. That is all. It's just boys will be boys.
How did they look afterwards?
Well, it is very hard to hit them when I am like hold person kind of thing,
Oh. Sorry,
it
that
it
has
wasn't a fair
happened.
fight, was it?
Not really, no.
No.
But, it's my fault. I was a silly old bear, and I must have been found out asking too many questions.
Well, silly old bear, you mentioned you have a couple of days off. Feel like going for a trip?
Oh yes, the voice in the head said we go on an adventure, and that sounded good. I'm here for adventure.
Fantastic.
I passed Gregor his ticket because we were financed for the second class tickets.
Yep.
So I had him his and tell him that we're departing at 9.
Okay.
Oh, and I have his 500 marks too, yes?
So a second, yes, you would have, yeah.
So I'll give that to him as well.
Yeah, keep talking, that's fine.
Talking.
Yeah.
Well, you really didn't do
Then
any talking whatsoever. So he looks at the ticket and it says, well, presumably they're the second class tickets?
I
Yeah.
got you your second class ticket
Yeah.
because that's what we were getting financed for.
So he kind of holds
I
it up
believe
very-
that,
very proudly and says, "Oh, second class upgrade for Gregor, very nice."
And I take it that Anise and possibly Rosa have upgraded to first class.
We'll assume Rosa has, yeah. Everyone else would presumably stick with second.
I'm going to assume that, well, the thought I had previously was that while we are traveling together as a group, we don't want to draw too much attention. So too many people sitting outside their expected class would definitely draw attention.
Yeah, I think you've basically just retrofitted an excuse for you traveling in first class to.
I was going to do it anyway, but I'm just trying to.
I admire your powers of persuasion to make everyone think you're doing it as a team thing.
Oh no, I'm absolutely going to first class, and I don't care if I sit there alone or with everybody. But the point is, if too many people are we don't want to stand out as a group because we don't want to be too memorable.
No, that's
If there's one thing about you, Anise, you are not memorable.
Oh.
oh,
I'm going to slap Cobalt up the back of the head.
With your glove.
Yes.
yes. I'll allow that to happen. You don't dodge out of the way. You just.
Thank you.
You don't take it.
Wasn't going to dodge.
No. You get smacked on the back of the head. Gregor finds this very amusing and says, I will go order the drink and the food. Where everyone else?
Good question. They are going to meet us at the train station before it departs.
Oh, excellent. Oh, this is.
I think Rosa had to write some notes, and the fighter is cleaning the guns tonight.
He had an allergic reaction to some gunpowder, and his face got all swollen, and it's icky. It's gross. It's seeping. It's not nice.
And Timber's finishing off some woodwork.
Oh, good. I look forward to a new adventure.
Indeed.
And with that, I shall not be Gregor. With that, I'm thinking we'll end chapter 4 here with the group about to sally forth and head on the steam locomotive. Thank you, everyone who's been watching this evening and posting comments. I hope you enjoyed our little performance. I will be hopefully getting this on YouTube in the next couple of days or so if everything works out well. For those watching, if you could subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is originally called Distant Grey Dungeons and Dragons, that would be fantastic. We're currently recruiting subscribers. No experience necessary, and the wages are non-existent. So it's great to have people viewing and commenting and clicking that like button on YouTube. So everyone go to YouTube and subscribe, and if you don't, I'll know who you are, so do it. And we will meet again next Thursday, which, if memory, that should be the 11th of June, so June 11 at 1900 hours AWST UTC +8. Terms and conditions and other time zones may vary, and we hope to have everyone there. And I'll see if I can't kill someone for you just for a bit of entertainment. So I'd like to thank Elise for turning up sick and snotty. I'd like to thank Sheena for turning up less sick and probably just as snotty. I'd like to thank Kira for turning up and not being snotty or sick. And I'd just like to thank Stuart for just being here. So thank you all, and I'll see you all next week. So adios, amoebas.
Shout out to Jed.
Yeah.
Shout out to Jed on Facebook.
Oh,
Thanks for the
yeah,
comments.
absolutely. Yeah, I love your comments and I love you following me, and I just love you. So that was a rather awkward way to finish this. So I'm going to end the meeting for everyone, which will finish the live. I think do I have to finish that? Oh, I don't know. What the hell? So good night, everyone, and I'll see you next week. Bye.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.